back, Cast of Kings, episode 4, 5, somewhere like that.
Brooklyn, stand up. What's good?
We got your hosts, Bruce K.
Reggie Miller.
K Solo.
K Solo. Let's get it popping. What's going on? Let's talk about what's going on in football with Colin Kaepernick.
What do we, first week of preseason just starting and guy still doesn't have a job.
It's crazy, you know.
And it's looking like he's not going to get a job, frankly, man. The Miami situation comes about, Tannehill gets hurt, and they signed Jay Cutler to a 1-year, $10 million contract, man.
Who hasn't done anything, really, in 10 years in the league or something like that.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Baltimore was flirting with him, right?
Right.
Owner came out and said, we've been talking to him, but essentially said that, like, it was almost going to be the fans' decision. Like, he was waiting to get feedback from the season ticket holders, and it appears like the GM and coach are for it, but the owner's getting cold feet.
Which is crazy to me, that Baltimore would have that many fans that feel that
I know,
bad about
Baltimore,
Kaepernick
right.
of all places.
Right, right.
You can't win in Baltimore to pick Kaepernick up. Like, where can you,
Right.
you know? And frankly, unless maybe I'm living in a bubble or something, like, but are that many people that passionate about his boycott? Like, I don't know.
I think the people who are really passionate against him are the ones with the money and the owner's ear. So, you know, I think the fans, like someplace like Baltimore that's basically a black city, you would think they would embrace him, right? Or, you know, if he went somewhere like Oakland, not that they want him, but somewhere where the fan base is largely black, you would think they would really embrace him. But I guess the owners are just so against him from taking that stand that, you know, it's really hurting his chances.
Let's take all of that out of it, right? When you go back and look at this league, man, we have guys who have committed murders, who have committed rapes, who have killed
Domestic
people.
abuse.
There have been a couple of players who have killed people while they were drinking and driving,
Right.
and who have gotten back in the league. And some of these guys I'm mentioning weren't even, at the time, as good as Colin Kaepernick was. Now, it's been a few years since he was playing at a Super Bowl
Right.
level, but you look at my team, the Jets, he's easily better than all three of the quarterbacks they
Right.
have. Easily.
Easily.
It's, man.
And even if he's not a starting quarterback, you know, most of
backup,
the 32 teams need they need
Yeah.
backup quarterbacks. Like, the
Right.
fact that this guy can't get a job as a backup quarterback in 32 teams is crazy to me.
And
It's
you almost
like,
have to do 32 times 3 because most teams are carrying 3 quarterbacks.
Exactly.
So you're talking
Mhm.
about 100 quarterbacks
And he's not
that
good
are
enough.
better. I mean, it's a travesty, man. It,
You know,
it really is.
And it's blatant and kind of in your face. And then one of the things that you know, I think it was Magic Johnson who said it. No, he was actually talking about one of his players. So I'm getting that story mixed up. But anyhow, someone mentioned the fact that, you know, this is kind of in your face. So it's kind of hard for, like, don't BS the guy and give these, like, softball reasons of why,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
you're not getting picked up, or, oh, we worked him out, but you know what? You know, I don't know if he's going to quite gel with the team. You know, it's just call it what it is. Like,
Yeah, right.
you know what? Like you said before, we would like to pick you up. You're definitely qualified. You're great. You would probably gel well with the team. But, man, the fan base might not. They may feel a certain way based on your boycott. Like,
Right.
just say it, you
Yeah,
know, rather
for
than
real.
be kind of subliminal about it, which, you know, that's the worst type of kind of in your face.
Yeah.
Like racism, or I guess.
Yeah,
or,
which is crazy because he's just standing up for what he believes in, and he's getting penalized for that. So,
And what he was standing up for, that whole message is gone now.
Right.
It's become something that he never meant it to be. It was never about anything to do with the flag, with the U.S. Army and the military. But that's the biggest reason why he's not in the league, and the clear message that he was trying to send has been lost.
Right.
It's sad, man. It really is. I'm disgusted. You know, part of me wants to, like, boycott football.
yeah,
you know,
I mean, that's
I
what people
really
are talking
do,
about,
man.
is,
But
not watching the game on TV, not going to the game because, he stood up for something he believed in and he's getting penalized. So some of the fans are really upset.
Yeah, I saw a lot of activity on social media based on that to really boycott the NFL, and even folks that I know who are super passionate about it. It's kind of like,
Yeah, that would be hard for me, but I'm honestly giving it thought. I really am. It's a travesty what they're doing to this man. This man opted out of a contract that was going to pay him $14 million this year, and he can't get a job. And it's clearly not about just money for him. I don't think Colin Kaepernick cares about the money, but it's the principle. And to your point, it's just blatant racism.
Disrespect.
On full display. Be interesting to see what happens if another quarterback gets injured.
Right. Because it's going to happen eventually during the year. So if he doesn't get picked up, that's going to even amplify everybody's, just concern for his employment opportunities. So, sticking with the NFL, what's your early season predictions on who's going to come out on top or who's going to make it to the playoffs? Who's looking good? Who's strong?
Right now, man, this is that funny part of the year where, it's been, 2 weeks of training camp. We haven't even had the first preseason games, but you get all the prognosticators, with the predictions, who's going to do what. At this point, I think we can honestly say we really don't know.
We don't know.
We're basing a lot of this on last year. And, what happens with that is every year, out of the, 8 teams that make the playoffs from each conference, out of those 8 teams, there'll be 3 or 4 new teams who are going to make the playoffs
right.
who weren't last year, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But obviously, they're talking about New England possibly winning all their games again. So.
We know we can't count them out.
No.
And then it'll be
what about
interesting
Atlanta?
To see.
The Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, and they re-signed Devontae Freeman, right?
Yeah.
So they got all the pieces back. Be interesting to see what happens with Oakland. They were in contention, but David Carr got hurt, so now that he's back, and they got my man, the running back.
McCaffrey.
Beast mode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Back to Oaktown. Yeah. That's going to be huge, man.
It is.
That's going to be huge.
I was in Oakland a couple months ago, and my boy Shaw said that he saw him. He said he's like 5'10", like 260.
Wow.
When you see him in person.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Big boy.
Yeah.
What about Green Bay?
Aaron Rodgers is always going to keep him in the game. I just don't know if they have the complete all the pieces, but
they're always there.
They're always there.
Without that,
right? Last year they were saying that their defense was questionable, but their defense actually stepped up. Aaron Rodgers is one of my personal favorite quarterbacks. I like the way he sees the field and reads defenses. So I'm looking for big things from them too.
What about Dallas? 13-3 last year.
That's true.
Out of nowhere.
And same thing. They got all the pieces back, right? We don't know what's going to happen with Ezekiel in this domestic abuse situation. He may miss a couple of games.
They're kind of stringing that out too, right?
They are.
It seems like this investigation's been over a year almost.
Right.
It's a few weeks before the season.
That's so they can bury it.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
Once again, talking about Kaepernick can't play. They're making concessions to get Ezekiel, into the season. So, just another inconsistency from the NFL. Switching subjects, talking about boxing a little bit, or boxing UFC. We still got the fight coming up in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks away, right?
Mayweather, McGregor. I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get the fight, just so I could say I saw it.
Gotta get it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If I don't go somewhere to watch at someone's house, I'm gonna order it even if I'm just at home. I mean, it's a big event.
It is. I want to see him get beat down for all the stuff he was saying.
I definitely think Mayweather gonna put on a show. he's not even going to try to get him out there early. Even if he was not, and Mayweather's not much of a knockout fighter, but even if he was, he's such a showman. He know people paid a lot of money for. Even if he's going to beat him. Some old school Ali, what's my name? Like, I think he's going to, do that to him.
Did you see him this week trying to, I don't know, people saying he's trying to hype the fight, saying, well, haven't fought in 2 years.
Right.
I'm in my 40s now. The guy's younger, taller, essentially trying to make a case
Seemed
for
like it's
why
going to be a close fight.
Conor McGregor has on paper, Conor McGregor has a good shot.
In other words, spend that $100.
Pretty much.
Get the fight because it's going to be close.
I'm still not discounting the fix being in, man. Anything can happen in Vegas.
Anything can happen.
They don't like Mayweather.
No.
He's 49-0. I agree. There's no way he should lose this fight. There's no way, but again, man, if I was in Vegas and had a few bucks, I might just put something on the other way just because the odds are so crazy.
Right.
I think $200 bet in Vegas would bring you back almost $2,400 on McGregor.
Did you put 200 on Broner too?
Yeah, I did. I did. And
which if you would have called me, I would have said they gonna take your money.
That was the Cincinnati connection.
Broner was fighting for his career, man.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't show up.
He looked horrible.
He didn't show up. The whole fight was a snooze fest.
It was.
Actually,
I mean, it's not like Garcia did much. This is that Broner did nothing, so it wasn't hard. You should call your boy and tell him, give you your money back. He gave you a bad tip.
No doubt. No doubt.
We were talking about, you never know with Mayweather. It's just like, Usain Bolt lost his final race. That was big. Not completely unexpected. I think he's just not into it anymore. But
you can almost
he got
tell.
caught.
Yeah, like he doesn't even look the same.
No.
He looks a little bit thicker.
Probably not training.
Yeah.
And he was running against Gatlin, right? That's what he lost to, right?
Yeah, he came in third.
And okay.
Gatlin's older than him.
And I was gonna say he's like 35, isn't he?
Yeah, Gatlin's older.
Yeah.
Gatlin's like 2-3 years older than him. So.
But Gatlin's still hungry.
Yeah.
So I mean.
And he's lost a lot of races against him.
He did, yeah. And a lot of time because he was suspended for several years.
Mm-hmm.
Switching topics, we got to talk about what's going on in the world with this whole nuclear situation with North Korea.
Your man, Trump.
Yeah. I mean, you got two infants basically beefing in public.
Which we all kind of knew was going to happen. I think we all saw that this was going to happen. I know I'm not the only one.
Right.
It's like you have two egomaniacs running the country. Both have no respect for each other.
Or anyone else.
Right. Exactly. So I think I feel like the Republicans, though, are starting to band together to be like, yo, we got to get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
Like it's
no, I mean, this is serious. Like, he's putting everybody's lives at risk now.
It's that, and it's not even so much what he said. The comments he said were strong and they were forceful. The thing is, you don't say stuff like that if you're not prepared to really act on that.
Yeah.
And you can almost tell immediately from the response, to your point, from the other Republicans, like, he made those comments right off the handle, off the cuff. There was no discussion about that.
No. No conversation with his national security advisors.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there's some 4-star generals
who are
they're like
spinning around.
Right, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's not even strategic.
Right.
It's
right.
like,
and the crazy thing is, he's doing this while he's on vacation playing golf, right?
Yeah.
It's not like most presidents would say, okay, I'm going to cut my vacation short. I'm coming back to D.C. so I could be around people and, handle the situation. He's out there playing golf and, probably tweeting while he's between the second and third hole.
Well, he can't stay at the White House, right? It's a dump.
That's right. It's
a dump.
It's a dump.
And this is the same guy who was trying to get on Obama, saying he was taking
Vacation all the
vacation
time.
Too much golf and playing too much golf.
Too much golf. I feel like has only been playing golf since he's been in office.
It's unreal, man.
I know.
It's unreal.
It's hard to believe.
And then on the other side, I mean, the guy from North Korea is telling you that he's going to start bombing Guam, man.
I know.
Based upon, like,
Yeah.
part of me thinks it's just two guys just talking, a lot of wind. But again, man, you got two guys who are very unpredictable.
Yeah. You don't know how unstable he is. He may actually do something crazy like that and then just kick off some, I don't know what the response would be, but you never know what he would do, because it seems like he's trying to prove he's a bigger man than Trump, and Trump can't back down. So
what do you think happens? Let's just say, North Korea sends a couple of missiles toward Guam, U.S. territory.
Yeah.
How do we respond to that?
I don't know. That's a big question, because China got North Korea's back. So if you do something against North Korea, then what, does China jump in? It could, who knows? But it could escalate out of control real quick.
I don't know how much China was. I think they're we're too financially tied together to even get into this.
I would agree
with this scrub. Like, they're like, okay, we kind of have North Korea's back, but like, we're not about to jeopardize, our entire, financial positioning based on this. I think they'll play it quiet, or they'll jump on the phone and try to talk this guy off the ledge, or before, if they're not having those conversations now, knowing his personality. He's killed enough of his own family members to like send a couple of nukes to some places he's never even been before.
Right.
I think is easy.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely,
and South Korea is right next door, so he could easily do something there. But the whole White House situation. Everything is just out of control. You got the White House, press secretary turnover. Spicer's out. You had Scaramucci. He was in for like a week.
6 days, man. Literally 6 days.
Yeah.
A whirlwind 6 days.
He calls himself the Mooch. And I don't know if you read that, the transcript from his interview with the reporter at the New York Magazine, but he was just cursing through the whole thing, talking about my man, what's my man's name? Bannon, O'Bannon, whatever. It's just crazy.
And the thing is like, he's, we all sports guys, and he's just straight throwing people under the bus that's on your own team. Like, we all, like, I don't know if this guy comes from a sports background. He's definitely never been in the military. It's like, you don't, even if you don't like a guy, he's on your team. So
There's
it's
a way
like,
to go about it.
yeah, you can't be out there, right, just throwing people that's part of your squad, like, under the team.
bus.
And I think that's the reason why, the new chief of staff with that, very decorated officer probably was like, all right, as soon as I'm sworn in, this dude,
you gotta go.
I need this guy out of here because he's not a team player. Like, never leave anyone behind. And this guy is just not built like that.
No.
The funny thing is, and I agree with everything you just said, part of me thinks, though, that's one of the reasons Trump got him in there, though, to
It's to
do
get him
some
out.
of that. Well,
Cleaning it up.
Yeah, he did get the chief of staff guy out, and he did make a few other changes. So I kind of think, while I don't know if Trump knew he would only last 6 days, I think part of the reason Trump wanted him in there was to make all that noise and to, try and go bombastic and get to the bottom of the leaks. But to your point, once the new chief of staff came in, there's no way he was going to work with a guy like that.
Right,
No.
yeah. I mean, I know I wouldn't. It's like, can't have this guy on my team.
And at any corporation, if you had an interview like that went public, you would have been fired. So
Absolutely.
it's crazy that he lasted 6 days, but he got Spicer out, right? So then he comes in. Now there's no press secretary. They had this guy Stephen Miller, who is
Well, he only lasted 6 days because, to your point, Trump just sat back, and then as soon as the guy got sworn in, I don't know if you saw it, but he got let go within hours of the chief of staff getting sworn in.
About 2
So
hours.
it was,
right?
it was like the first thing that he did after officially getting sworn in was like, get him out of here.
Yeah, that was probably a condition for him to accept the job. It's like, I got to be able to clean house.
Yep.
And then you got this guy, Stephen Miller, in there who's on Trump's jock so hard, saying that he's one of the best orators as president ever, which is, I mean, Trump has like the most limited vocabulary of any president I've ever seen.
It's truly a clown show going on, man.
It is.
And it's sad, man. I wonder what, what the U.S.'s position has become and what other countries around the world look at us.
Yeah. I mean, basically, they had this other world leader came out and said you could ignore anything that Trump says, basically. So, I mean, that's the respect he gets, or the lack of respect he gets.
How do you see this ending?
Well, I mean, I can't see him lasting too much longer. I mean, this investigation is going on. You don't know what happened, but it seems like anytime they start talking about Russia, Trump freaks out. And you can only think, and a lot of people are kind of suspecting that he has ties to Russia financially. And that's why he's so
Well, it's
Putin's.
It's definitely, to your point, it's heating up, but it's even a step further than that. Like, you have his old campaign chair. House just got raided by the FBI. No warning.
In the middle of the morning.
So
6 in the morning.
That's when they do it.
That happens. That's what happens to the drug dealers. You just got treated
come knock on your door.
just like kicking in the door. Wife and kids, they don't care.
No.
Raiding, and the FBI has like a 99% conviction rate. So the thing is like they already had enough information to kick
get that
his
warrant
door
to
down,
come in,
right?
Once they get to that point, they're there for a reason.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's not where they're looking for evidence.
And that guy at the level he's at, for them to kick his door down means that they have something
dirt on him, for sure.
And I'm sure Trump is squirming like behind closed doors because the walls are closing in.
Absolutely.
And you also think about the fact when Flint first resigned, he was trying to cut that deal.
He was looking for immunity.
And they wouldn't
From
give
day
it to
one.
him.
Right.
But
From Jump Street.
But like when you start looking for immunity and you don't get it, if you don't get it, that means they
already
enough,
had stuff
they
on you
already
to get
have
you.
enough information.
Right.
So it's almost like where you don't have anything to bargain with because we have it all.
Yeah, we got you.
So it's like I don't think we've seen close to the end of where this is going to go yet,
But to follow up on your point, though Flynn didn't get the deal, whoever does get the deal,
it's going to sing on everybody.
Yeah, and that must mean that person is going to have a lot of pertinent information and information that probably goes very, very
I mean, you
high
still
up.
got.
And they may have already been singing. That's probably why doors are getting kicked in and deals are.
I mean, they've
somebody
been
may
interviewing
already.
everybody.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on with Kushner, so it's like you were saying, it's sad. I mean, it's hard to believe that it's come to this.
It's only been about 200 days, right?
I know.
Yeah, 200 days. More to come with that, definitely.
But I got to give my man McCain respect. I love the way he voted down the health care bill. At the 11th hour, it just came out and was like, no.
That was huge.
That was big.
That was huge. And it came down to that one vote, right?
Yeah.
Like, if he goes the other way, that bill gets passed, and who knows what happens right now.
And he didn't even quietly vote it down. Like, first thing, he chastised all his colleagues,
right.
and then basically told him to get a spine. It's just like, this guy, we don't work for this guy, it's like basically, put them all on blast, which is good because what was it, like Graham came out like 5 minutes later, and at least, now these guys are trying to act like they have a spine,
Right.
so it's really, really good that he was able to do that. And also just think about how much of a soldier this guy really is, the quote unquote, how good is he because he got captured.
Right.
Like this guy comes out of surgery from a brain cancer.
Right.
And goes right to the office.
Yeah.
Because it means that much to him and vote this thing down.
And stays there like hours. They were there till like 1 in the morning.
Yeah. And not only that, man, it's clear from the Republicans' perspective. I mean, when you think about it, you have a Republican sitting president, you control the Senate, you control the House, and thus far they've been able to pass nothing.
No.
nothing. I mean, that says a lot. And I think, to Reggie's point earlier, they're starting to see that, you know, possibly aligning themselves with this guy might not be the way to go.
Yeah, because then they go back to their hometowns and have to face their constituents, and it hasn't been pretty. But you have a direct line to Putin since you've been negotiating with him.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I was telling Bruce, I've been having some bugged out dreams lately, and one night this week I woke up, I was deep in a dream, and I was at a negotiating table. I don't know what I was negotiating, but it was, you know, it was heated discussions, and the other side of the table was Putin, man. Like, I'm sitting across Putin, man. I don't know if it's too much MSNBC right before I go to bed, man, but
I asked him if he was speaking Russian. That would have been hilarious.
And he understood exactly what he was saying.
That shit was funny.
Tapped into that 95% of your brain when you understand in Russian in your sleep.
Crazy.
So, on the lighter side, what's going on in music these days? You know, it's been a weird summer because to me it doesn't seem like there's been that club hit that's really broken through. Maybe it's just me. I may not have been going out as much, but what are y'all thinking? What's on your playlist?
Yeah, I'm kind of out the loop, man. You know, I mean, I know there's been a few albums dropped, but to your point, if you told me like what's the summer 2017 banger, be hard for me to come up with something.
Might be Wild Thoughts, DJ Khaled. That seems to be getting a lot of play, but
that definitely gets a lot of airplay. But I don't know if that's like, you know, the consensus with the 25 to 40, you know, crowd, which is isn't that the
the millennials,
yeah,
you know, the people who are out in the clubs, and I don't know. Jay's album dropped. I mean, it's obviously went platinum, but I don't know if that's like the club hit.
I was gonna say, there's no real strong club songs
No.
on that album. I like French Montana's song that he shot out in
That's good.
Uganda.
oh yeah.
I forget the name of it, it's escaping me, but you know that song has a lot of good energy, and you know they've been playing it a lot. But to your point, I don't know if anyone's really has that
one song.
Standout song.
Right.
I think if this was a race or is, you know, you got a lot of them that are close as far as airplay and how people are vibing to them this summer, but like nothing's just like fully out there. Even like you'll hear a couple of things from like Kendrick Lamar and stuff like, you know, you'll hear things, but I don't see any major front runner.
Yeah,
No.
I'd agree. Fat Joe just dropped something like a week ago, little single, kind of old school New York hip hop.